Gold is kind of a tough paint to get right for Warhammer. That's why for years I've recommended X12 Gold Leaf from Tamiya Paint. However, based on a video I saw from the mini painter Trevelyan, I'm really thinking that this might be my new go-to. So let's give it a try on some Sanguinary Guard I got on the works, and we'll give it a go. How we'll do this is we'll compare Vallejo Liquid Gold against the shade paints I consider best for painting gold armor. This fellow right here is shaded with Reikland Flesh Shade. So I'm real excited to put each of these three through the works and seeing which, if any, looks best with Vallejo. Let's get started. Okay, just got it off. Now, Trevelyan did warn in his video, it is a very thin alcoholic paint. So just going to pour it very gently and carefully out here. Oh, doesn't that look nice? What I'm thinking is I'll do this fellow with brush paint and one of these two with airbrush. So let's give it a go. This is one of those times where using a paper cup as my paint receptacle may not have been a good idea, because it looks like it's already sinking into the paper cup, so we may have a problem later. Might be worth it though, because man, that looks good. Since I was going to use my normal gold recipe to paint this at first, it's primed with Monument Spray Paint's neutral gray primer with a pre-shade of matte white from Colorforge. This goes on real smooth, one thin easy coat, and I am blown away. Now, it does not look as amazing as Trevelyan's video, which I'll link in the comments. He used a black primer, so with a black and white so with the gray and white pre-shade, it makes sense that mine looks a little more muted. I'll try it in a little bit on some Raven black arms, because what I've done is I've magnetized the other two models. That looks real nice. Truthfully, with this Zenithal I did, I'm not even sure it needs the shade paints in the recessed shading, but we'll give it a shot. Half the reason I love doing Warhammer is just trying things out. If I try something interesting and it doesn't work, well then at least it was a fun try, and I at least know that you won't try it. So I'll have saved you some time and effort if you get crazy ideas like me about this kind of stuff. Well, there we go. Went on smoother and easier than a contrast paint, and I would say it got more coverage too. So very happy with this first coat. I'll just put them off to the side. Then we'll take one of my magnetized Sanguinary Guard, and we'll try it straight on this Raven Black primer. That way, maybe it'll look as good as what Trevelyan used in his video. So, here we go. Moment of truth. Okay. It's not going on quite as... Oh, shoot, yeah, okay. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, yep. I would probably just put it on straight black primer moving forward, because that looks pretty darn good. That looks really good. Let me finish this up. So it does seem like the secret is to use black primer, because that does look quite a bit more radiant than I did with my gray and white pre-shade. However, I also learned that if you're using a paper cup as the receptacle, the paper absorbs the alcohol and gums it up. So I'm going to switch some things around, and yeah, paper cups. Not a great idea. Here's some interesting Lamenter luck. So I thoroughly cleaned out my airbrush after its last use, and I was getting ready to put this gold into my airbrush, but when I pressed the nozzle down, it got stuck and now the nozzle won't stop blowing. When I clog up, or when I cover up the hole, there's no blowback, so even though I cleaned it thoroughly, somehow it still got clogged. So I don't know if we'll be doing any airbrushing today, because this will be something I gotta figure out. Let me know down below if you got any idea what might be going on. They say use what you got. I got a bottle cap. So let's gently pour that in. Perfect. Doesn't that look so good? All right, now let's see if we can fix up the rest of that arm. Just grab the brand new brush. And, there we go. Just had to put a little more on there. Oh yeah, that's covering much nicer. Imagine that. Paper's not soaking up the alcohol anymore, and then it goes on smoothly. Interesting, now that I've swapped brushes, I'm not getting as good coverage as I used to. So that's clearly a me problem and a brush problem. Okay, let's swatch brushes. Here we go. Brand new layer brush from Games Workshop. Well, I wish I caught that on camera. I was like, why isn't this coming off? It came off. This is not my day, fam. This is not my day. Having some Lamenter luck today. Okay, let's move on to brush number 3. Here we go. Oh, much better. See, you know what they say, third time's a charm. So let's just finish that up real quick. And then what I'll do, I suppose, is I will have to get more sanguinary guard and test the airbrush another day. There we go. Number 2's all done. I even did his magnetized spear, which is using the same zenithal recipe as the body model did. So let's go ahead and we'll jump cut to number 3 after it's already done through the power of editing. Ta-da! Even did the magnetized spear. And I will say, yes, having the primer, starting out with a black primer rather than a gray and white zenithal, does make this paint look better. The only reason I did gray and white in the first place was because when I started this project, I planned on using this paint for it. It's only after watching Trevarion's video a few days ago that I said, hey, I ought to give this a try, and let me tell you what, it has been worth it. I think in terms of experience and speed and ease of application, this might be my new favorite. I will say, though, the longer I went using the brush, the more it got gummed up. Now, maybe because it's an alcohol-based paint, I shouldn't be using water to clean it. But this is the first brush we were using that got gummed up pretty bad. So my hunch is if I were to put these in an alcohol-based cleaner, that'd probably clean them up. And I should probably be washing my brushes with an alcohol-based cleaner instead of a straight water. But that's just a theory. A paint theory. Look at our golden warriors. Don't they look so good? All right. Now, although Trevarion would use a red shade for the rest of his work, I'm going to use the 3 brown shades I like the best for gold armor. That's Franklin, Sepia, and Agrax. So, I'm not going to do the whole model. We're just going to do the right leg on all of them. So let's start with this one. Starting out with Reikland Flesh Shade. Bam! Look at that fill the recesses. Gives it a nice earthy tone. Still pops through. And you know what? That shines quite bright. I like that quite a bit. Yeah, no notes. That looks great. On to the next one. Got the Seraphim Sepia. Okay. That keeps more of the Vallejo Gold. Does tone it down quite a bit less. This does look pretty darn nice. Okay. So if you want a soft, subtle shade, I'd say Seraphim Sepia is the way to gold. Then feel free to highlight with that Vallejo Gold as you like it. But do I like it better than Reikland? See, I like the bold color pop, but this soft shading's also nice. I don't know. Let me know down below what you prefer. Then finally, the darkest of them all, Agrax Earthshade. Took off that spear so we can get that leg a little easier. Oh, yeah. You know, I think that sits in the recesses the darkest without actually hitting the top layer of the gold that much. So, you know, this might be the best of blends between. I really didn't expect this, but this actually might be the nice blend between Reikland Flesh Shade's deep tone and Seraphim Sepia's soft complementary contrast. So yeah, that does look quite nice. But let me know, which of these three shades do you think look the best? Is there one that you think I should try in addition to those three? Is there one that you think Vallejo makes that would look better than any of the three? Let me know down below. Do you have a favorite method for painting gold? I can say for certainty that this is my favorite now, and be looking forward to painting more Sanguinary Guard in the near future. Do you think Sanguinary Guard have a strong role to play in 11th edition? Do you like painting gold in general? Let me know down below, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Adios-ski. Bye.